You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders / GeekFest special. Yeah, baby. Today, we got a big homie that's touring this year on the GeekFest circuit with an amazing animated feature. I mean, homie is a writer. He's a producer for things like Bravo TV, Bravo TV, HBO, The Onion, and more. He also is a podcaster, right? And he also makes videos for Atomic Abe, and he loves his dog, Charlie. Let me introduce the one, the only, the multi-talented Nick Nadel.
Wow. Hi. Oh my gosh, I love that intro. It's so epic. All the numbers. Oh my God.
Yeah, and you're killing it, man. It's
Thank
true.
you.
You do so much, and you obviously love your dog, and he loves a boat, apparently. We're going to get into that, how your dog loves boats and all. Heck. So, Nick, thank you for coming on today to talk about your projects. This current project that we have out on GeekFest, that people could see. I'm going to show off the trailer a little bit, right?
Cool.
But before we do all that stuff, you are on the Comic Crusaders podcast. So we need an origin story, kiddo. So talk about it. Like, where are you from originally?
I'm from the DC area. Went to high school in Maryland. I live in New York City and Brooklyn. I am a writer for TV and the internet. And I have worked on television shows like Hack My Life on True TV. Yeah, that's a fun show. It's still, you can watch it on HBO Max, I think, now. And I recently worked on, do you remember the dating show Blind Date?
Yes.
They brought that back a couple years ago. Yeah, Bravo brought it back. And I was a comedy writer on that. So that's on, you can watch that on Bravo, with on demand and all that stuff. I think it's maybe on Peacock. I've written for The Onion. I'm in a lot of The Onion books. I've written for their website. A lot of comedy, reality TV, but also a lot of internet content. Worked for AMC on Walking Dead content. I've worked for HBO on a number of projects. Now in addition to, everybody's doing a million things, but I have a production company, Atomic Abe Productions, with my co-producers, Kevin Marr and Tim Finn. And we started a couple years ago, and we've been doing good. We have a really popular YouTube channel, and I can say now we literally just crossed 1 million views on YouTube. Like as of like a couple days ago. Thank you.
It doesn't that feel good? You're like, wow, people are watching.
Yes, yeah, it's great. We have short films like the one we're going to talk about. We have a couple short films on there. We have a lot of video essays. We have comedy sketches and stuff like that. We have a series that's doing really well on the YouTube channel. It's called Behind the Backdoor Pilot, and basically it looks at failed spinoffs of TV shows. Like Martin, the Martin episode just took off because it was a Martin reunion. So we have one about the spinoff that almost happened for the Pam character, where they did an episode that's like, you think it's a normal episode of the sitcom, but it's actually a pilot, like a hidden pilot for a potential spinoff. And this is something that TV, they still do it. Like, did you watch Arrow? Oh, I lost you.
Yes, of course I did.
Yeah, you watched Arrow. Towards the end of Arrow, people might remember there was an episode that was like in the future, and it had like a bunch of different Black Canaries.
Yes,
that was a backdoor pilot. They were trying to do a spinoff for Katie Cassidy that would be like, all the Arrows in the future or whatever. It didn't get picked up. So when you now watch those shows, like if you watch Arrow or you watch The Office, and there's an episode all about the character Dwight on his farm, that was also a backdoor pilot. It's supposed to be a spinoff for Dwight. So we talk about how these episodes now where the shows didn't go to series, the spinoffs, they're just kind of strange episodes, like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. But so this series, that Behind the Backdoor Pilot, has been doing really well. People should check it out on YouTube. Yeah,
I saw the Angela Lansbury one. I was like, yo, what? Thank you. It's so full of cool tidbits, pop culture trivia. I mean, the Dave Chappelle one with the home improvement for buddies. I was like, whoa, like, yeah, I didn't realize that. I mean, and then what will happen dude, I mean, it was fire. I was
Thank
thoroughly
you.
entertaining. Just like I had people here fixing my boiler, and I was like, they're trying to talk to me. I was just fixated on what was going on. Like,
Aw.
excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm doing research, guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, with Dave Chappelle was in a episode of Home Improvement that then got spun off into a show in the 90s called Buddies, very short-lived. People should check that episode out. Yeah, and Murder, She Wrote, we did an episode on 7 spin-offs that She Wrote that didn't take, you know. So
my favorite one you did was though about the Bionic spin-off that didn't happen. I was like,
oh,
that's
thank
so
you.
cool.
Yeah, the Bionic Woman, they tried to do the Bionic Dog.
Yeah, yo. And then I love how you did the whole play, you know, showed off how, you know, they eventually did do a script with the dog. And,
Yeah.
You know, but of course, Bigfoot had to come into play and things happened to the poor dog.
Bigfoot is like, it's TV shows and movies in the 70s. Bigfoot was everywhere. Bigfoot was like Robert De Niro. He was hot. He was just, he had a really good agent. I don't know. Bigfoot and Evel Knievel. There's a lot of Evel Knievel in the 70s too.
I will tell you though, I did have an Evel Knievel motorcycle.
Oh, you had? Yeah, you had the one that did the jump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
that's
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
Old stuff, right? So, all right, talk about then you growing up. What was like? What did you first fall in love with? What was that first taste of fandom that got you enamored and kind of led you towards where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm an 80s kid, and I was always Star Wars, obviously GI Joe. I've always been really into GI Joe, whether it was the cartoon and the animated movies, and then He-Man. I feel like He-Man was my like. I was a little young for the first couple Star Wars movies, and then I saw them later on VHS. But He-Man was like my thing, you know. And I really liked the new recent Netflix series too. I thought it was really good.
Which one? The Kevin Smith one or the other one?
Yeah, the Kevin Smith one. Yeah, I didn't watch the other one. Was a little younger.
Yeah, it's more for kids, but apparently it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so, I'll have to check that out. I liked the Kevin Smith one. I thought it was good, and I was always really into He-Man. I was always really into, you know, all the big movies, Goonies. Hello. Never Ending Story, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, as I got older, you know, my partner and I, Tim Finn, is one of the partners in Atomic Abe. We used to make, we just do sketches, you know, in high school and short films and stuff like that. So I was always a big comedy person.
How did you guys meet? How did you start forming that little tribe or clique, if you will? Yeah,
well, Tim and I met in 7th grade, and we did sketches in front of the school before, like, you know, before YouTube, before TikTok and whatever. We just got up and performed them in front of you know, people at school, and we made short films on, you know, big VHS cameras. We had to edit, you know, tape to tape.
Weren't they huge?
Remember. Oh,
something massive. You had to do the two hands, looking like a field reporter.
Yep.
Like, yo, where you at?
Yeah, and people might remember those, but also like editing back then wasn't, you know, it wasn't something you had on your computer. It was, you got one VCR, you got another VCR, and you're kind of, you know, matching the shots and stuff. And it was, so we always made stuff. And then later on, Kevin Marr and I worked at HBO together. We worked on a comedy website for a few years, and worked at various things, AMC.
So let's start talking about that.
Because
you're like, I'm landing these opportunities, you know, from high school, boom, boom. And I went, how did you even, that creative spark, what led you to start submitting professionally, and where did you first submit to?
So I moved to New York for college, and I went to Marymount Manhattan, which is in the city. And, you know, like a lot of people, I was looking at internships and stuff. And I really, I think, smartly got in. I'm sure a lot of people say this as well. I got in with like a smaller comedy website at the time that I was able to write. You know, I was able to do stuff that wasn't just like fetching coffee. And it was called Modern Humor. The website is called.
You want to go for it, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, there was, you know, like any job, there's some of that. But it was a website called Modern Humorist. They had books. The creators, they had books, and they did some TV stuff. And the creators are now television writers. And so that got me a lot. I met a lot of people through that. You know, I met a lot of New York comedy people, and I got in at the Onion, and I wrote jokes for the Onion, and I wrote.
You got into the Onion through those comedy connects you met.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like you know, and I did write back. This is, you know, when I was writing for the Onion, I did a writer submission. You know, you submit sample joke headlines, and at the time, and then I had made a connection, from the other website I worked at, and I got picked up as a freelance writer for them, and I did that for a number of years, and wrote. They have. I don't really do them anymore, but they used to have book collections. You might remember of all the Onion headlines. So I've been those collections, and every once in a while now with social media, I'll see on Facebook, they share the Onion stories on Twitter and Facebook. So I'll see like, oh, there's one I did,
That's one of mine.
So that's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Awesome.
How
did you feel though when you first saw one of your own stuff like that? Like what was that feeling like when you first got published? Like officially?
Oh yeah, it was great. Like seeing your name like in print, whether it's the website or like the book. I think a lot of people have this where you keep having those little successes or little excitements. Like when I was younger, getting in the Onion was like, oh, it'll never be better than that. Then I wrote for a TV show and I saw my name in the credits of a TV show and I was like, wow, that was great. And then a few years ago, I got into the Writers Guild, which is like the big, the union, the Writers Guild East. And I was like, oh wow, that's that was huge. I got a card in the mail, my name, Writers Guild America. So that was awesome.
Bro.
And then, it never stops. Just, once we started doing this content for Atomic Abe, getting into festivals was amazing. I never had a film in a film festival,
So what is this your first film festival or you've done it prior?
Well, with this is the Message from the Future is the first film that I've ever had in a festival. So we've gotten
yeah.
I mean, we've had this Message from the Future has been in a few festivals. So yeah, it was my first experience like doing the festival thing, and so that was exciting, and seeing your film screened and people reacting to it, that's exciting, and then having content on YouTube, people having 100,000 views, 500,000 views, whatever, like that's really exciting. So I'm sure you find this with everyone you interview, like if you're really a creative person and you're working and everything, you never really have it's all you're building a chain and you're getting all the successes along the way, and it's good to have. So it's always good to have those ones that surprise you because you realize you're still learning and you still get like wow, I never, it's rewarding. You're not just like, oh, here's your one thing and you're done,
Okay, so I want to ask you, because you've had all these beautiful and wonderful opportunities thus far. So what made you jump and say, well, I want to do my own production studio? Jeez, because listen, that's another, again, writer, folks, he's a writer, producer, and, and putting more stuff and weight on his shoulders. So what possessed you? How did that happen? And what are the plans for that?
Yeah. Well, so Kevin Marr and I were the same, where we had written for a lot of TV shows and worked for a lot of companies, and we liked what we did. But it's like, you're always, when you're working for big corporations, there's a lot of stuff we were happy with, but you're always compromising to some extent, Yeah. And so when we decided with Tim Finn, our other partner, he was like, you guys, I love your stuff. You guys should do stuff on, that's just yours. And, I'll produce it with you and everything. Yeah. So we started pretty, a couple months before the pandemic. That was sort of like our plan was to do short films, maybe a little web content, but we were kind of mostly going to do like short films. And then once the pandemic happened, we kind of shifted even more. We're like, Message from the Future was originally going to be in our minds, like a live action short maybe. But then having it in animation ended up being great. It ended up being better. So we found a good director and animator, Dano Johnson, who worked with us on that. So, and then it was like Kevin and I, we come from these pop culture backgrounds, come from these comedy writing backgrounds. Kevin Marr does this great show in New York City called Kevin Geeks Out, which is like a video variety show, like a live show. So we started doing video essays, and we started doing like, the stuff like Behind the Backdoor Pilot we were talking about. And that stuff was, started doing really well. And it was great to have this outlet now where we can kind of do what we want. We can do animated short films. We could do video essays. We could do sketch comedy, And so, and it's like anything, it's challenging. It's a new project. We're kind of like, some stuff does better than others. We're kind of putting as much content as we can out there.
Are you doing that purposely to test waters, to see what it is that hits and follow that path?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like a lot of it is just like it's nice to have the freedom to not be locked into one thing. Like we've often talked about how like the Behind the Backdrop pilot series is like amazing, and like we love it, and we could see a world where we were doing it and that was all we were doing, which would be cool. But we like the freedom to also try other stuff too. So that's been really rewarding about having this production company where we could make, we've made 2 short films and we've gotten them in festivals, and that's thank you. And that's a different sort of reward and a different sort of excitement than like having, the million views on YouTube or whatever. So it's nice to have both. And I think like what we like is like we're new. We've been, the production company's been around a couple of years, so we're like we're still in the like growing phase, but like we're seeing like, oh, people really like the Behind the Backdrop pilot series, or they really like the video essays. So like it's like we have that lane that like we're building an audience for that, and then hopefully they'll watch our other stuff too, So we want to have.
I perused everything else too, so I watched a couple of things, and then I thought, okay, what else are these doing? Because this is dope.
Awesome.
Guys, I'm gonna show this. I gotta keep showing you guys. This is their YouTube, so please follow Atomic Abe Productions. Trust you me, you're gonna be thoroughly entertained. Grab a beer, grab a smoke, or water, and sit down and watch. Yeah. You will be smiling like the Joker ear to ear.
Thank you.
Nah, brother, you putting great stuff out there. So also, let me show that little teaser trailer for Message from the Future. Check it out, folks. I love it. I hadn't watched the teaser trailer. I saw the short before the teaser trailer, and I'm just dying. Like, okay, wow, they tell that these guys.
Thank you.
Blind Adam, salute. Hello.
Yeah, if people have it, if people want to check it out, like A Message from the Future, basically, it's a short animated film, and it's the premise is a time traveler from today, basically any time of our world where there's a lot of troubles going on, goes back in time to 2006 to try to get some help, and she happens to land in the apartment of a couple nerds playing couple geeks playing video games. They're probably playing PlayStation 2, right, or something. In 2006, and of course, she needs help to save the future. Of course, they want to talk about what happens on Lost, what happened on The Sopranos, stuff that's like,
and that's cracking me up too. The explanation with The Sopranos, it just goes off to a black screen. So do they die? Well, it's up to you to decide, I guess. I mean, what happened? It was the Lost thing was killing me because thank you. I was like, oh shit! Like me and my wife used to ask this. Who the others? Tell this crap.
Yeah, and it's like now we have with the internet, you got all the spoilers and stuff. But you imagine back in the 2000s or the mid 2000s,
I remember.
I remember like people you'd wait a week to see the next Lost episode or wait a week to see the Sopranos finale, or when the Sopranos finale. I'll tell you a funny story. When the Sopranos finale happened, so this was 2000, I believe that was 2007. Kevin Marr, the co-writer of the short and the producer, we were working at HBO. Now, at the time, the Sopranos finale, you remember, like for everybody, everybody knows like how it ends, cuts to black. The HBO website crashed. There was no Twitter. There was barely any Facebook back then. There was no, Instagram, whatever. There's no TikTok. So everybody who was like, what just happened? Went to the HBO website and like was writing comments or whatever. Went down like that. That shows you how different the fandom culture is, and the TV live TV when everybody binges stuff. But
not how different it is, but rather how having different tools changes the game.
Totally.
Because now even fans could rant on socials and get something to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or you can tweet at the creators of the shows or whatever. I mean, they have exactly. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, honestly, probably, but back then, so yeah. I mean, I remember I had a MySpace page. You would maybe write on your page, but you couldn't go to like. Some HBO's Facebook or Twitter or whatever. You couldn't
insult them directly. You could go indirect via your own page.
And really, like, all those MySpace pages took so long to load that by the time you got them playing music and they had graphics and all that stuff.
Well, I missed that though. I wish we could customize our pages like that. Now, you play a wrong song in your video, it's getting.
That's true. Yeah. What was like the MySpace? It was like. They would bling. It would be like all like shiny, and there would be like glitter and blingy and stuff. I remember that was fun.
The Facebook codes to bomb people on messaging and annoy the hell out of them. You could send them like 100 messages at once. I missed that.
And there was like the poking. You would just like, and that's all it was. It was just like, hey. And Nick poked Al or whatever, or you'd send like vampire messages and stuff like that.
Stop poking me. What's going on here? Good old days, folks. If you don't know, if you weren't there, you missed it. You don't know what it is, yo. All right. And talk about Charlie too, because you have a cute dog that's all over that awesome website that is Nick Nadel. I was looking for a picture of you here, and I was like, I keep finding Charlie. Where's Nick?
Yeah. He's sweet. He's a King Charles Cavalier, and he's 6 years old. And you'll probably hear him barking a little bit. And on my website, there's a photo of him on a boat in Maine, and he's looking adorable. And he has a little sailor neckerchief on.
Yeah, he's looking like Mr. Furley with an ascot.
Yeah.
Cute dog, man.
Thank you.
You're touring this GeekFest for the year with this film. I mean, what else have you got coming from Atomic Abe, my brother? Because you have been a fan. I mean, we were perusing this. I have been moving, and I got to, again, just because of this, able to chill a little bit and stop what I was doing.
Oh, cool.
And thank you so much for taking me away, because I had a family loss this week. I've done the move, my body's killing me. And I got to rest and just laugh and also be intrigued. But again, that series you got there about the what was it? Oh shit.
Backdoor Pilots.
The pilots, bro. That blew my mind. And I gotta watch every single one of these.
Oh, awesome.
That's the type of stuff that I dig though, and I think everybody else would dig, because if you love to learn like little tidbits, and again, this is like Trivial Pursuit shit. You never know. One day. Gonna be, these things that you guys are showing are gonna be on Jeopardy or something one day.
Oh, cool! Thank you. Yeah, I think we're great. It's great to see the reaction. People are like, "Oh, I didn't know about the Dave Chappelle."
No, I didn't. I did it. I mean, you fucked me up with that. I was like, "What?" And then, folks, watch the episode, because once you watch that, we're gonna need to find out where are the lost episodes. Can I get them anywhere?
Right. Yeah.
I want to watch. You told me I missed Kareem.
There's like a one DVD of the Dave Chappelle sitcom Buddies, and it was supposed to be Jim Brewer. You'll learn the video. He's supposed to be on it as well. Jim Brewer was on the episode, and they replaced him. This is mid-90s,
and you'll learn why too. Cause I was like, oh wow, that was fucked up.
Yeah, and like there's it's a sitcom that's just lost to time. I think they made 13 episodes, and there's a DVD you can probably buy on eBay, and that's about it. It's not streaming.
But am I gonna get all the episodes, all of them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the DVD is like maybe like 6 episodes, and there's 13. They might have. I mean, this is a tough DVD to find even, but I believe the DVD has all the episodes. Only 6 aired, and then they are made like 13. So I'm pretty sure the DVD has all the episodes. And You can find him on YouTube probably if you want to watch Buddies, a sitcom from 1995 with Dave Chappelle and Jim Brewer. I'm fairly certain you can find it on YouTube.
Jim Brewer will tell you apparently in a stand-up, hey,
right,
90s. Oh, why you the black guy? Oh yeah. And okay, that's the premise.
Jim Brewer talks about his stand-up and how it was like an early, career, career setback like everybody else. But he obviously did fine. But he was replaced in the sitcom.
It didn't set back Chappelle, that's for sure. Because
it's interesting that that's what we sort of talk about in the video, that like Chappelle was really blowing up, and then you see him kind of starting to do his own thing, and he does Half Baked, and he does the Chappelle Show obviously later, and so that like he was in that world of Hollywood being like, oh, here's the hot guy, let's put him in a sitcom that's not right for him, like a cheesy sitcom, and then he did his own thing, and he blew it, and he became Dave Chappelle like we know and love,
Okay, since you are a producer doing pieces yourself, sitcomish and all, like, what do you look for in an actor? In case you have any people that are trying to step in case you one day Atomic Abe needs some actors.
Well,
what do you look for?
Yeah. Well, so like in Mess from the Future, we have two of the voice actors are Megan O'Neill and Sophie Santos are hilarious comedians. Check them out. They're on Instagram. They did a great
job too.
And so Sophie hosts a show called The Lesbian Agenda, which is great. It's a stand-up comedy show. It's in New York and LA. Megan O'Neill has been on she's done a lot of animation voice work. She's been in a lot of TV shows and really funny. So these were New York comedy people we knew, but we've worked with all kinds of actors, and what do we look for? People that have their own style, their own voice, they're easy to work with. Like it's always a plus. I think like the little success that I've had over time, I sometimes think a lot of it is, you're easy to work with. You get along with people. You roll with it. You're able to wear a lot of hats. I think people have, and I don't just mean like, even if you're an actor, can you do improv comedy? Can you also do dramatic acting? You can never, you're not just like, well, I only do, funny voices or whatever. I only do voiceovers.
I gotta ask here, because you are a comedy writer. Have you ever performed yourself stand-up?
Not stand-up, but I've done some sketch comedy and improv. Upright Citizens Brigade, which was like pretty well-known comedy theater in New York and LA.
Where in New York are you? Because I'm a Brooklyn boy from Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to live in Greenpoint. We live in
really? Where in Greenpoint?
Do you Kingsland Avenue, where there's the McDonald's there? And...
My brother, I lived on Morgan Avenue in Driggs.
Wow! Oh my God! So we were maybe neighbors. I lived there. I'd mostly been on the other side of Brooklyn the last 10 years, but before that, I was in Greenpoint, Williamsburg, and now we live in Ditmas Park, which is like Flatbush. That's right, Flatbush. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's nice. So Greenpoint, beautiful. Changed a lot from when I was growing up. I mean, it went from mad factories to we're across the city, folks.
Oh yeah.
Type attitude,
Oh yeah, and even since I moved from there, there's a lot of good comic stores have popped up over there that I've been hearing about. Hey Kids Comics. Yeah. Yeah.
Now Greenpoint has a whole bunch. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint, I had to go to Lorima Comics. I don't know if you even were there when that existed, with the shop on the Pete. And I used to go there after school, cut with my homie, and we pick up our books. You know what I mean? Especially happening during the Image Revolution when that store was there. So that was my local shop that I used to love.
That's fun. Yeah. Lorimer is
Ultra Video. Yeah. We had Ultra Video that turned into Midtown. So the origins of Midtown Comics comes from Manhattan Avenue.
Really? I didn't know that. So they had a video. No, they had a video store before that?
They didn't have a video store. There was a video store called Ultra Video. And one day, I guess, because, video sales were a little bit slow, they rented the back to open up a comic shop at that store.
Oh, wow.
Guys, the comic shop blew up on Manhattan Avenue. And then about a year later, after or two, next thing you know, Midtown Comics is born. And there's all the dudes that from Ultra Video. When I visited Midtown, I said, wait a minute, what's up? He goes, oh shit, what up with me? I'm like, yo, what's this? We just opened this venture up. and now they have like what 3-4 stores in New York.
Yeah,
I mean,
like at least like that. Yeah, that's funny because I feel like Midtown, for as long as I haven't been in New York, they have their big location in Times Square, and they have 2 or 3 other ones.
I always loved the Lexington. That was my choice because there's less traffic.
Yes, quieter. Yeah, I would go to that when I worked over there for a while, and it was nice. It's nice to have like compared to the Times Square one's great. It's 2 floors, which is rare for a comic book store this day to have that much space. So,
I gotta ask though, do you think they own those dollar pizza shops? Because they have a dollar pizza shop right across the street from the Broadway, and then around the corner, one on Lexington. And that's great. Dollar pizzas and comics, hell yeah.
Right. Yeah, those have popped up so many. There's so many of those. And yeah, it's true. Like right under that one. And while we're talking comic stores, I will say Tim Finner, the other Atomic Abe producer, he has a fantastic comic store. He owns a comic store in Boston called Hub Comics, HUB Hub Comics, and it's in Boston. It's in the Union Square area neighborhood of Boston. Look it up. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful comic store, like almost looks like a bookstore. Big shelves of graphic novels, so many like good kids comics, single issues. Check it out if you're in Boston. It's excellent.
We've been talking, all your film production, the amazing stuff you've done in your writing, but you're bringing up comics. So talk to me there. Are you a comic fan? And if so, what's your favorite?
Oh yeah, I'm been a comic fan since I was a kid, and favorite I keep up with Batman stuff. I feel like Green Arrow has always been a favorite character of mine, and lately I went back and read. Did you ever read the Mike Grell 1980s 90s run of Green Arrow? That was it was post-crisis, like when they relaunched Superman, they relaunched Batman, and so they did that with Green Arrow as well, and that series is really good. You can find it in trades. It's probably on Comixology. It's very gritty urban crime.
For a Green Arrow book.
Yeah, and it's really if people watch the CW shows, it's really influential on those. And then stuff now I'm reading I really like the Human Target series that's going at DC. I've been reading that.
Oh my God! They just announced a new series coming up, and then we've seen the 6-issue one that just came out recently on trade real soon.
Yes, it's excellent.
And that TV show was pretty cool too. Too bad it didn't last.
Yeah. You know what's funny? We thought about doing a video on this some way. There were 2 Human Target TV shows. There was one in the 90s with Rick Springfield, the singer, and then they did that one maybe a decade ago, which was good. That didn't last that long, and it's a great premise. If people don't know Human Target, it's he's basically a bodyguard for people that take on he'll take on his clients' identities and everything. I'm surprised they haven't done a movie. It's the character was on Arrow, and
it's an amazing concept. It's an amazing concept. A lot of fun. I mean, very James Bondish. Why did James Bond, instead of just being the stupid spy, was I'm also gonna be you with makeup, special effects. I mean, remember the movie Effects from back in the day? What was it? It's that type of shit, bro. I mean, it's
totally
fire, son.
Yeah, and the current series is really good. Tom King and I think Greg Smallwood. It's really good. It's very kind of detective. I really like detective stories and crime noir stuff like that. You know what?
As I get older, I find myself liking more of that detective slice of life type of reads.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
But what homie, as you see right here in the green, that's my Spawn. That's my big homie. I mean, I'm building myself up.
Oh yeah, I read Spawn. I read Spawn particularly early on, and it's still going. I mean, amazing.
300 issues later, Spawn does not stop. He is a beast. Homie is just a beast. I've had the honor of interviewing him twice here.
Oh wow, that's amazing. In person.
And what's funny is even my baby brother met him, and it's like he had the same energy with my baby brother as he had with me. So we couldn't stop talking. Cool. That his agent was like, "Todd, you gotta go."
That's great. Yeah, he's so fun. I saw him at New York Comic-Con a few years ago. He did a panel with a friend of mine who's an artist, Wes Craig, and they were just drawing the whole time.
Wes Craig?
Yeah, he's great.
Amazing artist, yo.
He's so Deadly Class. He does Deadly Class. He's so great.
That got canceled too early as well.
But a great comic. Check out the comic. He draws Deadly Class. He's drawing a lot of stuff. But they were doing a panel, Todd and Wes, where they were drawing and they were just telling stories. And afterwards, Wes was like, "I can't believe that. That was so amazing! Like to hear Todd McFarlane talk about it, watch him draw." And we were like, "This is crazy!" Like he just told the best stories about Image and like strong Spider-Man and everything.
You know what's awesome too? Cause he's very raw when he speaks. So it's just, he says it as it is, whether you like it or not, and that's what it is. And you know what? That's his opinion.
Yep.
People respect stuff. That's it. It's conversation, respect. Don't start going on Twitter talking about
Right. You know what I love is you remember the Spawn cartoon, of course, right?
Of course I do. I got all 3 video cassettes.
Wow, you're a real fan. Yeah, and I think it's not streaming on HBO Max, which is too bad. But you can find it on YouTube. But for people who don't remember, it was it was a great animated show.
Keith David voicing. Come on.
Yes, Keith. Oh my God, Keith David voiced Spawn. It had this really cool animation style. It was like Batman the Animated Series. But back then it was like, so it was the 90s and it was HBO. So they had done Tales from the Crypt. And so those kind of shows that had like hosts at the beginning. So Todd McFarlane would do the intros for those. And he would be on this set. And I just look him up on YouTube. I want to do like a video about it or like a supercut. But so he'd come out and he would be like, "There's a darkness in every man." Al Michaels, and Spawn, it would be Todd McFarlane with his Canadian accent, and he was like this kind of Rod Serling and Crypt Keeper kind of host. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I love that. I wish they would bring that kind of thing back. So I'm
gonna say something cool. Check this out, right? So I was at my comic shop when I lived in Massachusetts, and I found this.
Oh wow.
Right? This is the cool part.
Spawn Mobile. Oh, wow. Oh, by his friend. Signed by his friend, right?
Signed by his actual boy, Al Simmons.
That's great. Who is his friend who he named the character after?
Yep. I paid $1 for this.
Oh, that's cool.
That's so funny. God. Is that real?
It's like his Batmobile. I remember Spawn Mobile reminds me. Did you ever go when you lived in New York? Did you ever go to the Big Apple Comic Cons that were like?
Oh, of course, Mike Carbonaro, Big Mike, absolutely, man.
Yeah, and they those are so fun. And I remember when I was in college, they would be over in Upper West Side. They were at a church like this. People today they go to big convention centers for conventions, but this was like it was a church in Manhattan on the Upper West Side, and the Spawn Mobile would park outside of it. And it was this big tractor trailer, sort of like. Optimus Prime vehicle that's Spawn Mobile, and it was so cool.
Oh man, I miss my New York shows. Real talk.
Yeah, well, hopefully shows. Yeah, come to New York Comic Con. Hopefully that's coming back.
Are you gonna go? Because if anything, we're gonna grab a bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. Because I haven't had a good one since I left New York.
Yeah, that would be great. I know where to get them. I'm a connoisseur of bacon, egg, and cheese.
Hey, so you see, folks, I'm not pushing. When it comes to New York, when we mention a bacon, egg, and cheese, we know there's nothing better than rolls and the way they cook out there. Let me tell you, bro.
Butter, a little butter,
Oh my God.
Gotta get it back.
I'm about to take a flight now, bro. So, bro, what's in the future for you? Yeah. Atomic Abe. What else can we expect and get, man?
Yeah, well, so we're always posting videos on our YouTube channel. There are more episodes of Behind the Backdrop Pilot are coming. Comic book fans will be interested to know we'll be having an episode in July for the Thor movie around there, and it's going to be about. You remember the Incredible Hulk TV movies from the 80s, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, they had the first one, the Incredible Hulk Returns, had Thor in it, and the second one, The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, had Daredevil, and they were trying to spin off shows for Thor and Daredevil at the time. And so we have an episode coming about that, about the history of the Incredible Hulk TV movies and how it almost launched a Thor show. They almost launched a Daredevil show.
Almost.
Yeah. Until different time for Marvel. This they were a little more low budget, but those are really fun movies. And so that's coming for the comic book fans might be interested in. If any of your viewers are in Brooklyn or in the New York area, on Friday we are showing another short film we made at the Greenwood Cemetery, which has a series that's the Rooftop Film series. And they show films outside.
Wait a minute. So a rooftop movie showing at a cemetery?
Yeah. Rooftop films, they do all outdoor screenings pretty much.
Oh, it's outdoor.
Yeah,
I'm about to say, they're gonna go on one of those mausoleums.
I mean, if it's it's a horror movie, that would be cool. But no, they do. So they do outdoor screenings all over the New York City area, and there's a series called Cemetery Shorts where they have it in Greenwood Park Cemetery, beautiful in Sunset Park, beautiful space and outside. So we're going to show our most recent short film, live action, a short comedy short called Crazy Mel's Auto Emporium, starring Kevin, and it's you can see it on YouTube too, but it's a fun, really funny little 2-minute comedy short that we're showing there.
Crazy Mel reminded me of the old school New York legend Crazy Eddie so much. I was like, holy crap, what the heck? I don't know if you remember Crazy Eddie, but look up those commercials and then look up his story. You're gonna be
and Kevin who's in it is from Jersey, so he knows. He grew up and he knows he knows Crazy Eddie very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unintended.
And so so if you're this Friday, you can go on Rooftop Films, check it out, and it'll be at Greenwood Park Cemetery. We're showing a short film there. We new videos on the Atomic Abe YouTube page, atomicabe.com. Me at Nick at Nick Nadel on Twitter. Also at High Nadelity is my other Twitter, at atomic _High Nadelity.
I like that name. Yeah, when I saw that, I said, "Oh, that's fire!"
Thank you. Like High Fidelity. And then Twitter is at atomic _Abe, and you can get updates there. Please subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. Please search Atomic Abe Productions.
We need you to do two things, not just subscribe, which is step one, but we want you to turn on notifications because you want to be on alert.
Totally.
When they drop a video.
Thank you. I always forget about that. Fun. Thank you.
No problem, Nick, but it's just what it is. I am a fan, and I don't want anyone to miss anything.
Thank you.
This. So please, when you go YouTube, Atomic Abe Production, like Abraham Lincoln, nickname Abe, you get it, right, folks? Trust me, notifications and subscribe.
Yes.
You're going to love this. Maybe one day you're going to have a stressful day at work where you're on the phone like this, getting stressed by somebody, you want to laugh. And like, oh my God, go to that YouTube, and I promise you're going to find something that will put a smile on your face. Like, okay, these guys are doing their thing. Bless you all, yo. And again, like you said, very important, folks. I want to, again, YouTube, Atomic Abe Production. Website, Atomic Abe. Who's Abe?
So it's our. You're right.
Who's Abe?
It's a robot. It's a robot Abraham Lincoln. That's our logo. He's kind of a Abraham stovepipe, big hat, and he's like an old timey. Imagine like the Iron Giant, but with a
top hat,
Abraham Lincoln hat. That's our logo. Yeah.
Love it. And again, Twitter, Atomic _Abe. And please follow the website.
Yeah.
NickNadel.com. You can see Charlie. You can see everything is done, the whole resume. And what's Honest Disney?
Oh, thank you for asking. So a few years ago, my friend and I, we made a bunch of posters, funny posters, which were Disney movie posters, retitled like with honest, funny titles, So we did for Lion King, it was like Hamlet with animals, and that whole thing that's real popular on the internet. Now they blew up. This was like a few years ago. And if you Google Honest Disney, you will see our posters, and they're everywhere on the internet. And they're funny, like retitled, Disney posters, sort of like poking fun at Disney movies. And people probably know, like, oh, there's one. Thank you. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
And Christine Gritman, the artist. And they blew up. And, I was working for this website. Yeah.
Hey! Oh, my God.
Yeah, and they kind of, and it's like the sort of that trend with like honest trailers and everything. And we were early with that. We were ahead of the curve. And they everywhere. They resurface everywhere. People, I will see them on websites and on Facebook and Twitter. And Christine Gritman was the artist. We were working at Screen Crush, the website, and they did them as well. But we made a bunch of these, and they're everywhere. It's one of those things where you just hilarious. Sometimes I forget about it, and then I'll see it online, and I'm like, all right, that's something I made. And they were huge viral success. So you could Google Honest Disney check out. I put them on my website.
Oh.
But yeah, that's Fantasia. You are so high right now.
Bro, Hamlet with animals.
Animals.
I love
this. The original.
Weirdest birthday ever.
It's funny. I forgot a lot of these. But yeah, they just, they're everywhere. They just blew up.
I love that Snow White one, Witches Be Hating.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote these, and Christina Gribbett did the art, and every once in a while we'll be like, "Oh wow, these are still around." They just
this
blew
is hilarious.
Up. Thank you.
Arthur minus the murder and incest.
right. It's the sanitized version.
Oh my God! You will grow old and die someday. Cars, just
Hollywood. That's for the Doc Hollywood.
Please spay and neuter your pets for 100 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
I mean, nice guy for this is last. Oh my God, yo.
I'll change for your man, yeah.
Epa! Oh, the princess is black, so the rest of the characters can be racial stereotypes.
Man, thanks for sharing those. I always forget, and then they come back. Thank you. Yeah, those are hits.
We need to show off your humor in everything because again, folks, he's the writer, he's the producer, he's the director. I mean, and he has fun with these awesome posters. I mean, what else do you want in life?
Thank you,
son.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about before. It's like that was another thing where like it was a fun little project and it got popular, and that was really exciting to see people sharing that. And it's one of those things I always say to people. Like I've talked to a couple done a couple writing classes and stuff, and I tell people like, do your thing, put it out there, and you really never know. You never know what's gonna hit, and it don't just think, I just gotta like make a movie or I gotta write a screenplay. Like you probably have other ideas and put them out there, and even if it's something like
so that's
retitled Disney posters.
So that's the advice. If you got something, put her out there.
Yeah, and also it's funny. I'm sure you guys have found this. Some of the things that you are the quickest to make end up being the most popular, and sometimes the things that you labored over do well as well. But like sometimes it's like you have a good idea, you put it out there, and people just respond to it. It's great.
Yeah. So this is why I always say to people, especially when they're trying to step in and they ask me questions of how I do it, do not overthink.
Smart.
Just get her done. Just do it. Even if you have this piece of device right here, is all you need to get started. Because nowadays this does everything.
Yeah, no, right? It's true. It's true.
Don't overthink.
Yeah, no, it's true. And like we were talking about when we were younger, making short films or whatever, it was so much harder. And even then, it was nice just to cut your teeth doing stuff with your friends. But also now, I mean, you've got so many resources, and there's a lot of content as well. But then it's great to be able to try different stuff. Yes. If you're a comic book artist. But you also do. I know so many people that are comic artists, but they do a podcast, and it's great that everybody's able to just sort of play both sides of their creative brains.
As they should, because again, we're all in a renaissance of creativity. Like you said, back in the day, it was very difficult. These tools help, but also though having that old school knowledge is good because if one day they ever throw an EMP, at least we'll know how to be able to still work.
That's true. Yeah, like Kevin Mara, my writing and producing partner, and I, like we it's funny because we've worked on so much television, and there's so many cooks in television, and there's so much like overthinking. So our brains sometimes have to be like, it's okay, we have to kind of rewire ourselves, and it's funny, like we sort of are like, we'll be making these YouTube video essays, and we're like, we have this high standard of we're like trying to create like television quality stuff, and we're like, it's okay. Like this is good. It'll be good. So like every creative, you're always like have that on one side of your mind is like, is this good or not or blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's good to just, do it, I
always tell people also, do not listen to your inner voice. Right. Because at times if you find yourself questioning yourself too much, that's just the devil trying to fight you. And, that's the terminology I use.
Totally.
No, just do it. You never know. Like you said, the shit that you don't think about is a hit, and the things you labor over are like slow. It's weird,
right? Yeah,
I don't understand. But you've been in the game for a minute, and with that, I want to just say it's flower time. Thank you, Nick. I know I've been celebrating
thank you,
but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share your vision, share your creativity, share your writing, share your voice. We need people like you all day, every day. So thank you.
Oh,
Keep doing what
thank
you're
you.
doing. You've made a fan of me, and hopefully you've made a fan here through a lot of our
Me
Crusaders
too.
that watch.
I am a huge
You
fan. I
rock,
love
man.
this forum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you rock, bro.
Yeah, I love this forum that you've created here. Thank you.
It's all a celebration of people like you. I mean, because again, without people like you that take those steps to not be afraid and entertain us, and like, here, I'm putting myself out there, love it or hate it, but hopefully you love it, and if you hate it, shut the F up. No one needs to hear you. That's how I look at it.
Thank you for
hate
this forum. Yeah, you've made a great forum here, and thank you for I'm a fan now. I'm gonna watch and listen to all the interviews.
I know you love McFarlane. Check it out. But folks, again,
I definitely will.
For the last time, follow on YouTube. You gotta follow the big homie Nick and his team, because they're doing stuff that'll make you crack the hell up. I mean, your homie, Kevin, yo,
so funny,
so funny, yo. I mean, when I saw the crazy, sketch out, I was like, yo, he shut it down.
Yeah,
he shut it down. And you know what's funny? We have a show called It's Drunken Chat, and we have a guy there called Mighty Mel V. So please do not confuse. It's not that Mel, all right?
He's great.
And then please follow the website atomicabe.com. Twitter atomic_Abe. And of course, please follow the website Nick Nadel. And you know how to spell Nadel? Very simple. Nadel. Okay, you should know how to spell Nick, all right? Because everybody loves writing a Santa Claus list. You know, feel me? So with that, Nick, thank you again for your time, for your creativity, for everything you do. And with that, mi gente, please.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, kiddo. You rock. Don't you worry about it. And with that, mi gente, you know what to do. Follow Comic Crusaders everywhere. That's where we at. Everywhere, except YouTube, where we are at Comic Crusaders World. Follow Undercover Capes everywhere. Check out all the shows outside the panel, Definitive Crusade, No Price, podcast. I mean, we do it all, folks. We're crazy that way because we love this culture. And with that, Nick, thank you again for your time. People, hasta la próxima. It's Omega, and I'm out. Woo! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.